Hello, welcome to Access Paranormal. My name's Jamie Williams. Joining me in the studio, well, a little room we've got, isn't it now, Jonathan, at the moment?
Yeah.
Is obviously my co-host, Jonathan Sullivan. Now, Jonathan, blah, 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 blah. We had an urban explorer with us,
We did.
and Adam Marks
Yes.
came and done a little bit of an exploration and a paranormal investigation.
Yeah.
And we actually nabbed him for a podcast, didn't we?
We did.
And we're going to be playing the podcast in about a minute or so's time.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is it was hilarious because me being me brought the dog along.
Yes.
And all you can hear is the dog running along. You'll hear it in a minute. And it was one of the strangest podcasts we've done, an interview with someone, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I ended up having to leave to take the dog out because it was just like run up and down. Give Adam Mark and Matt, who was with him, Jew, they thought it was hilarious, and he said at the end of it, didn't he, they really enjoyed
they did,
actually doing the podcast with us, the interview with us. It was absolutely hilarious. Now we were going to do an investigation with them, but time ran out, didn't we? And we were going to do one, but we're going to meet up again and do one with them. We're looking forward to that.
Yeah, definitely.
And we'll be talking a little bit more after it's been on, because in a second we're going to go across to it, because I think it's about 40 minutes long, something like that, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's the actual show. We're going to put it on in a second. So, do you know what? Instead of us just going this, that, and the other, should we play it?
Just put it on, Jamie.
Okay. Hello, welcome to Access Paranormal. My name is Jamie Williams. Joining me as usual is my co-host Jonathan Sullivan.
Hello, Jamie.
And nobody this week, Jonathan. No, so it's just us two. Yeah. But also we've got Adam Mark.
I know.
And Matt. And Matt, where are you from?
City Urbex, from North Wales.
Fantastic. And you're both urban explorers and paranormal investigators.
Yeah. Fresh paranormal experts.
Fresh
paranormal investigators.
Fresh paranormal.
I've been doing it for about 6 months now. Yeah. Like proper going into it.
Yeah. Because you started off, didn't you, Adam, as just an urban explorer, same as yourself, Matt. Yeah. And then I was watching on one program, you started doing a little paranormal investigation. Yeah. I think the one I saw you were upstairs in it was like the biggest building. And this is the weird part. I remember the floor being blue, like a blue carpet on the floor.
Right.
And you were in that room, and then something happened. I can't remember exactly what happened. And that's when you started calling out a little bit on your own. I know it sounds. I'm one for picking up on silly things like that. I pick up on stuff like that. And then you started calling out, and something happened, and I think you carried on. You went back downstairs and out the way.
Yeah. That's pretty much how it started. Just little things like that, and then just getting more and more into it. Yeah, definitely.
And you know, when you start going into these buildings on your own, I mean, you go on your own. Before Matt joined you, and you used to go on. Insane. And what made you go into these buildings on your own? Have you got no fear?
Well, pretty much I started, Denbury Mental Hospital. Started going there when I was about 12 or 13. So it was like going with my mates, and then it just didn't really bother me at all, really. You know?
He'd like with you, wouldn't he? Because he's got no fear of anything like that as well. And you met up with Matt?
Yeah.
When did you get together to do your exploring?
About over a year now.
Yeah, something like that.
It must be over a year.
While we're doing this podcast, we've got the dog here as well, which is chewing the chair at the table there. It's metal, so it should be okay. And you've been all over the place. You are from North Wales, as you were telling us, and you're from North Wales as well. And you've been all over the place. And some of the buildings you've been to are phenomenal. And which building is one of where you want to go back to again?
There was one in Italy, big mansion. That was my absolute favourite, yeah. And that had some paranormal stuff. I actually only went to Italy to do urban exploring, but that was one of the first places I went to. And just walking around and then doors banging, footsteps. I didn't have any paranormal equipment then either. I think I just had a few little bits. And that was terrifying to be fair, yeah, huge.
Yeah.
Never seen some more there,
It was, I was on my own there as well. Genuinely like, it's terrifying.
Scary.
Yeah.
If you hear noises in the background, we do know the dog's here, don't we? It's like, he's up to one, he's only got 15 weeks old, so he's a little terror. What place did you start it together? You know, did you meet up in a location, or did you just decide to get together somewhere?
No, we just got together, didn't we? You picked me up one day, and that was it.
Yeah.
And then we went to
Where's the first one?
I was calling you out there.
Doesn't mean you do that many. They just like you saying the blue carpet. I have no idea which one.
As soon as I see the video, I'm no good at locations. You know, like I watch your videos. I'm no good at locations. But because we're into paranormal investigation and things like that, I do pick things up and don't. This has got to be one of the funniest podcasts we've ever done, isn't it? So I don't know where Ian's disappeared to, but the dog's staying. Just leave it to it. Where was the first location you ever went to? Was it the asylum?
Denby, yeah, was the first one. Yeah. But it was just more of an outing with my mates, to be honest. Yeah. And then that's where I like proper fell in love with it, like the exploring side.
Yeah.
But paranormal side, that was obviously a few years later when I was doing the pool park roughing one I was saying.
Right, yeah.
So,
We're having some fun here, aren't we? We started this podcast. We've got 2 urban explorers and a little naughty dog.
I was going to ask you about was it an Airbnb in York?
yeah.
A little,
Yeah.
really
Chamber room.
yes.
That's it.
That looked spooky.
Yeah. I actually found that online, just randomly searching haunted places, and then I was thinking I wanted to go up to York because obviously there's a lot of history in York, isn't there?
Oh, phenomenal.
Yeah. So I just literally put most haunted place in York, and that came up, and I was like, I've got to go there. Amazing place that
That's
was.
amazing.
All the old taxidermy.
Yeah.
And they have their own Ouija board there, and loved it.
I've been to York loads. I love York.
Yeah.
Did you see Dick Turpin's grave?
No.
No. I missed Dick Turpin's grave.
I don't know who Dick Turpin is.
You don't know Dick Turpin? You don't know who Dick Turpin is?
I've heard of him. Was he?
Jonathan knows he was around at that time. He was a highwayman back in the 1700s, 1600s, something like that.
Yeah.
And he used to obviously rob people, didn't he? And he got caught. And he was hung and everything else.
Yeah.
And he ends up burying him. It's just his grave on its own.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Trash in the place.
This has got to be the greatest podcast we've ever done, Jonathan, isn't it? Eh? Do you want to take him in the main hall, Ian?
Like a fried chicken running around.
This will be a podcast you'll have to put a link to, Mark. And it's not Mark. Oh, here we go. Behind the scenes of a podcast with the dog. So what made you? I know we're in Mill Street Barracks at the moment. So how did you find Mill Street Barracks? I know there's a lot of people been in here and everything else.
Yeah. Literally just through research. I went through a phase where I just wanted to find the most haunted places and do like kind of a series of. This is when I was doing urban exploring. I wanted to just do a series of just exploring haunted places. So I just went through, found loads of places. This was one of them, and then I read the stories about it, and I was like, I've definitely got to be here.
Yeah.
But then obviously through the I picked up a load of paranormal equipment, and I've been practicing my paranormal investigations.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it was a good time. Definitely.
Have you ever seen this happen before?
No.
It's on one tonight. It's been great. The whole night you've been here, Adam, it's been fantastic. It's been as good as gold, hasn't she? All the sun. Keep talking, I'm going to grab it.
Yeah.
Go on.
Cool. So, I mean, there's been a few times where you've been on your own,
Yeah.
your own mat.
Yeah.
Not just covering your mat, but some of them places that I would not go. On
Yeah.
my own. I've seen you go to it's one of your latest videos, and you're in this house, quite a few rooms, and you kept hearing noises at the end.
Is that one of the recent ones? Is
Yes.
it this week's one?
I think it was.
Yeah.
This week's or last
Like a
week.
Victorian house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, quite a big house though.
Yeah, I heard a few footsteps,
Yeah, yeah.
a few knocks and bangs in there.
And you had some of the equipment out upstairs.
Yeah.
Your grandpa was going off quite a few times.
Yeah.
I think your music box went.
It went off, I put it into a certain room, didn't I?
Yeah,
And I aimed it into the corner of the room.
yeah.
And obviously if something breaks the infrared beam on it, it will
That's
stop
it.
the music button, and it did into an empty room basically.
Yeah, but on your own.
Yeah.
Come on.
I think it's more just, that's why I'm there now, isn't it? So why would I run away?
Yeah. You must still get scared though.
Yeah, it does freak you out. It does give you the creeps, but I kind of enjoy that side of it as well.
It gives you a bit of an
Yeah, adrenaline rush, yeah, definitely.
It does.
I've returned. The dog is under control.
Okay. Killed it.
That was a good one. I was interested in the noises at the end that you kept hearing. And
Yeah.
there was like footsteps as well.
Yeah, I think I was in one of the rooms looking into a chest and I heard, was it running or walking behind me? I'd
Yeah, the
spun
big door.
round.
Yeah, it was in one of the bedrooms,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
And they were quite clear as well because I picked them up on my audio as well.
Yeah. that's
Which
right,
sometimes
yeah.
you obviously know you don't always get it, do you?
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
But to get it on the audio as well was,
Better,
yeah, it was brilliant that.
Is that your most recent one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't watched that because you were telling me about that.
Yeah,
so I've got to
yeah,
watch
it's
Yeah.
really good.
that.
Yeah.
So
Really
that-
interesting.
I'm looking forward to that because you were saying you actually captured the footsteps.
Yeah.
How did you feel though when you caught them?
In my head, I really just try and ignore it. That's because otherwise, you're just like, right, okay, and then just carry on like it didn't happen. Because then otherwise, you're just gonna freak yourself out, aren't you? Really?
Doesn't say goes much for that, does it? Really, go. And have you had the same stuff, Matt?
I have, yeah, not on my own, because I don't drive, so I can't get to the locations on my own.
Right.
But yeah, I've definitely heard some stuff.
Does it freak you out though?
It does, but it's more because they're quite old buildings,
Yeah.
so you have to kind of like think it could be
Yeah.
floorboards.
Yeah, it could
Yeah,
be.
It
Yeah.
could be. So yeah, I try not to let it freak me out as much.
Mm.
You've got to debunk it as you go, and have it.
Yeah.
How you have?
Yeah, we
definitely
find
find
that
all the
Yeah.
time.
important to do that because otherwise everything's paranormal.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. But footsteps.
Yeah, they were
You know,
quite.
You can't.
Especially when I was editing, turn it up full blast, and you can just hear it. Like they are clear,
Yeah.
definitely.
That's it.
And how did you feel once you listened to it?
I was like, I was hoping I'd get it on the audio, but it's kind of like a good thing, isn't it, when you catch it?
It is.
You know, it's like, oh,
It's
I
what you're
hope I
there
want
for.
people to hear this.
It's
Like
what we
a
do.
buzz, isn't it?
You know?
Oh, God, yeah. And did you believe, both of you, I'll ask both of you the question, did you believe in the paranormal before you started even exploring that? Or had you got more convinced as you were doing the investigation, as you were doing your exploring,
Yeah.
sorry?
I think I was more curious of it, but I'm like a big horror fan and stuff, so I love all that stuff. But then looking into it more, there's stuff that, like you said, you try and debunk things and you just can't with some stuff.
Yeah.
No.
And you're like, there's no other explanation to some of the things you hear.
That's right.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in a really old building, and some of the buildings you've been in.
Yeah. Hundreds of years old.
Yeah.
Thousands, actually, some of them.
Do you find it, sorry Jonathan, I was going to say, do you find it that when you go in these buildings, and you do go in some buildings, and the furniture's still there, the toys still there,
Yeah.
I think you went in one, there was books everywhere, children's books everywhere. That must
Yeah.
have been kind of creepy to see that.
It
Does
is.
that like make you feel uncomfortable, or do you just go past that and think,
I
"We're
think
looking at history"?
when I first started finding places like that, it was a bit, this is a bit personal.
Yeah.
But then when you start seeing it more, it's like nobody actually, like, these are just left now. And if
No.
you don't go and look at it, they're just literally gonna fall apart in the house.
That's the
So it's-
it
yeah,
should be a
it is sad,
museum.
isn't it?
Yeah. Some of the stuff are like, you don't see them in this day and age.
No.
So to see them, to be able to see them, it's just, I don't know, I find it so fascinating.
What I like about you as well is you look at the stuff and then you just put it back the way it was. It's
Exactly.
just left, you know. Where we've seen some explorers, we watched them and we thought, hold on, they went in there,
Yeah.
that's gone.
Yeah,
You know, when you've gone back with the camera, you think, that thing's gone, really, what was there before?
Yeah. Didn't
And
notice
that's sad because,
Yeah.
you know, they're not leaving things for the likes of yourselves to go and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And for us to enjoy it through your
Yeah.
video footage, which is brilliant. 'Cause
That's a big appeal to not touching stuff, leaving it for the next person who goes in,
Yeah.
and they can experience it the same way.
yeah.
That's it, isn't it? That's it.
But some people don't care.
Do you find it fascinating when you find, because I think you found a newspaper we went back, I think it was like the 1930s or something like that.
Yeah.
And like you're thinking, how's it been kept in that condition? I think you found a load of magazines in a cupboard.
Yeah. I think that was in Scotland. Football magazines.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were literally mint condition as well, because they've obviously been in a drawer. You open the drawer up and they're just mint condition.
And you think, no.
19, I think it was 30s or 40s,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Football
Yeah.
magazines.
And I'm a big football fan, you know, and I was
Yeah.
thinking, wow, I'd love to have a
You do
read
see
through
the
them.
odd program and stuff
Yeah.
like that. They're obviously valuable now as well. So
Oh,
it's,
God. And it's sad
shame.
because, I mean, the great thing with YouTube is you're honest, you just leave everything.
yeah,
The sad thing is somebody else will come along with worth something.
That's it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
straight on eBay.
I see a lot.
Seen it? Seen
Yeah.
that?
I see a lot of the explorers though, and you see some when they go in, and it's absolutely ransacked, and you can
Yeah.
tell people have been in
Yeah.
and just absolutely destroyed it, got all the valuable stuff,
Yeah.
and then just leave the rest.
Yeah.
But they're destroying everything though, aren't they? Do you know what I mean?
At the end of the day, it's still someone's house.
It is.
Even if
It's
they're-
still
if
someone's
they're
selling
alive
it
or-
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you still, and you're really just guests.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we're just having a look around.
Yeah.
You're just having a little bit of a look around.
Yeah.
I love it because it's history.
Yeah.
You know, the chances of us going to the Scotland one where you were, there's virtually no chance of us getting them there. And you find that when like other urban explorers go more and more, they tend to lock these places up. They tend to be more, people can't get in them again because
Yeah.
they realise the urban explorers are going in, shut them down.
But like you said, I sometimes go on my own. I go with Matt, one or two of us or something like that.
Yeah.
Never a group in that. I think you kind of go under the radar then. And we tend to go a lot in the daytime. So when I think people go in night and there's 6 or 7
With torches.
torches going
So
everywhere.
you can see the torches.
Farmers and that, they
Yeah.
go, what's up,
Yeah.
what's going on there?
Because you go early morning, don't you?
A lot of the time,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's a feeling you're saying that it's early morning now.
Yeah.
Gone through. I think you went through to one. Did you do Frodsham? A building in Frodsham, a huge house in Frodsham. And I think you were in there and the security came along and you had to come out. Was it you or have I been watching somebody else?
I think, I can't remember one in Frodsham, that's by Chester, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a big, massive house.
Oh, I know what that's.
Do you know which one it was?
Yeah, I think that's someone else.
Was it
Sorry,
someone
I-
else?
Yeah.
Well, there's plenty of people doing it.
Yeah,
That's a well-known one, that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I went in-
Burnt down.
yeah.
A footballer's
Burnt
one?
down.
No, that was
it's like a
in,
hotel.
yeah, I know which one you're talking
It's
about.
like
That's
the
gone.
hotel.
Tilston.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it,
Shouldn't have named that one.
That's
really.
gone now, isn't it?
No, it's still there.
Is
Yeah,
it?
it's still there, yeah.
Which one was that?
I think it was burnt down.
Was it Wild Boar Hotel? Was that somewhere else?
No, that's by there. Tilston House.
Tilson. Oh, Tilson
Big-
House.
it's like a
yeah,
big
yeah,
wedding
yeah.
venue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh, that's still there.
Yeah, it's still
Yeah.
there, yeah.
Yeah, we went in there, and then as we came out, because the gates are all chained up and overgrown, and we came out, and there was a car parked outside the thing, and we were like, how's that car even got in here? Didn't hear it, didn't see it coming in, didn't see who got out the car. It's like, so we just left it. And we only seen it on the way out, but Strange one. That.
When you get caught, and obviously people do nappy sometimes.
Yeah.
What's the procedure then? Do you just stay calm, or do you get them ranting at you and things like that?
You do get them ranting, but 9 times out of 10, if you just sound with them, they'll just calm down. They're just shocked that you're on their property, which it's a grey area anyway. So there's no point us kicking off, is there? What we should have been there really. So
it is what it is, isn't it?
yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? Because you see the urban explorers, and you know, technically you're not breaking in.
Yeah.
Because there's an open window or an open door, and that's where the grey area is, isn't it? That you say you shouldn't have been there in the first place. Well,
We should board you.
Yeah.
After your house then.
Secure your property.
I know, yeah, it's frustrating that, because we went into one not long ago, didn't we?
Yeah.
There's no window on it. The floors are falling apart. It's quite dangerous, to be honest.
Mm.
But it was literally just a walk-in.
Yeah.
Just straight through a window, no window frame in it or anything. They've seen it up on YouTube, and then you get emails, take this down, this is mine. Well, you obviously don't care about it.
Mm.
So what's the big,
Security,
why are you bothered now somebody else cares about it?
Have you had to take it down as well?
I have done in the past.
Yeah.
It's not technically abandoned then, is it? So.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a shame, really, because all you do is showing that.
And and it was an amazing place as well.
Yeah,
It was a shame I had to take it down.
There's one in near Cleethorpes, isn't there? And we thought it was a school. I was on holiday with my partner Marie. We went. There was this abandoned building. It's in the middle of a field. The caravan site was here, and there was things like Maplethorpe.
Mm.
So we went in. Anyone could walk in. We went in. I filmed it all and everything else. We just done what you do. Not as good as you, because we didn't know what we were doing, but we went in. And anyway, we went off and spoke to this fella, and this fella was saying, "Oh yeah, it was a dance hall. It was a town hall and everything else."
Yeah.
Well, I went back in on my own to carry on taking photographs and that. And I heard movement in there. And I was, "It's all right, Mary, I'm over here." She was still outside, but I could actually hear them walking, same as you could hear them walking and everything else. And then when I went outside, I said, "Why didn't you just show me when you come in?" She said, "I haven't been in there, Jamie, you were on your own." Going there again. But we found out it was Humberside radio. You know, the shipping forecast, the shipping radio.
Yeah.
Right.
And the buildings there. I thought it was a school, then we thought it was like a police place. There was nothing to say what it was, but there were still bits and pieces on the walls and things like that. But we found out by research that it was Humberside shipping radio. It was a radio station. And they've left it abandoned because the caravan site has bought the land.
Right.
So it's going to get demolished, and it's going to be caravans on there. But you get the chance to go up there before it goes.
Yeah.
It's quite a nice building to go into and wander around.
Yeah.
And when you go into the back of it, you can see the outside where the other rooms used to be as well. The concrete's still there. You can work out where the toilet was. You can work into. It's great. Yeah. So I can see where you two get the fascination from.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the paranormal investigator. That's what we do. We're not into. We like doing a little bit of an urban exploring, but nothing we use to.
Yeah.
Not a million years going to do what you are doing. Not on my own anyway. So, is there any locations that you'd like to go to that you've never been to, where you think that's on my bucket list before it disappears?
More countries, really.
Countries, yeah.
Yeah, because so far I've only explored Europe, so France, Italy, obviously Britain, Eastern Europe, so Ukraine, Czech Republic. So I want to go and see Asian cultures, South America. I'd love to do stuff like that.
Yeah, cool.
And just see what it was like back in the day then.
Yeah.
Like I've seen some amazing places in Japan and that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that would be an interesting one.
Yeah.
So you've been abroad a lot then to do all this. Is that through the urban exploring that you've got to go out to these countries?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the same with you, Matt?
I've actually never left Britain,
You've never
but
left it?
it's something that I want to do. Yeah.
Well, you know what you do? Can you take that dog with you? So how long have you been doing the?
Coming up to 3 years now, but I've only recently started posting onto YouTube, just because I'm going with Adam and he's going to help me a bit with it. But yeah, I've been doing it about 3 years, but only in Britain.
Yeah.
But there's so many places there. There's so much to look at.
When I watch these urban explorers, such as yourself, it's fascinating how many abandoned buildings there are across the country.
Yeah.
You don't realise how many there is.
No, I didn't realise. You want to see my map? It's just pins. You can't really see any countryside anymore.
Is that how you do it?
Yeah.
Off your head, how many do you reckon you can see?
Just, I reckon 300 or 400.
Wow.
Not all of them are worth filming. Like some
Yeah,
are just
but-
absolute ruins.
Yeah.
Some you can't get into. You know,
No,
the lost, the
it's
sealed. Yeah.
It's a piece of your archive, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the good thing about it.
So one day someone might be able to get in there. Like usually you're relying on kids smashing a window or something. To be honest. So,
Yeah, but I suppose with them buildings you're relying on like some vandals or children
yeah.
who just
Or
so they can open it up.
in a way
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's sad to say, but
Yeah.
yeah.
That's your way in then, isn't it?
Have you ever come across other urban explorers when you go to these buildings? Is it like you're going out, the one's coming in like that? Oh, go out.
Not too much, no. I remember one, you know, ABC Cinema in Liverpool.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
was in there on my own. That was like 2 years ago, and obviously it's a big dark building. And then I just heard walking. I was on my own, so I was like, "Is it police or a baghead or you know, like, someone going to stab me or something?" But it was 2 young lads, and we ended up spending the whole day going around places in Liverpool, so that was alright. But it's scary though, because it could have been anyone.
Yeah.
Was it me? Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously you can get the ones who are homeless, sadly enough,
Yeah.
who are also staying in these buildings.
I have come across that as well in Liverpool. We've seen a blind church, I think, in Toxteth,
Oh right, yeah.
and we went in there, had a look around. Absolutely amazing inside, like architecture and stuff. And then you go into a back room. It's all flooded, and they've set some planks out where they're walking along. And we look through the window, and there's literally a family in there, a mother and father, and like 2 little kids, like 3 or 4 years old. It's so like,
It's wrong, isn't it?
yeah, that's where they live. Like,
And did you speak to them or?
no, it didn't disturb them. Like,
Yeah.
obviously they're tucked away in there, aren't they? So.
And you both say you've travelled miles and gone to these locations, and when you get there, you can't get in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Annoying.
That is
So many of them.
the worst ever.
Yeah.
But even we've been to like hundreds of places and got there, no entry, and walked away from them. So
I suppose that's part and parcel.
yeah,
And then see them on Facebook a month later.
yeah, someone's
So
broken.
You're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, yeah, I know you can't get in there."
Oh, that'd be so frustrating.
Yeah.
And when you go into these locations, is there any way you'd say, I'd love to come back and do this more? I didn't film all what I wanted to film. Part 1 and part 2 like that.
I haven't done that. Yeah, there's some I've explored, and then I want to go back and do a paranormal because there's definitely something feeling it in there.
Give us a shout.
Yeah, I have done that 1 or 2 times, but I just look back and go, well, would I go back there, paranormal and stuff? But some you obviously can't because it's gone too far gone now. It's not safe.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
And do you get locations where you get the owner saying you can go in if you want?
No, I've
You've
never.
had that? No,
no.
I've never had them contact you say, do you want to come and do
No,
one?
but if anyone wants to do that,
Yeah, get
if anyone wants to give us a,
There's one, we've talked about Anglesey a few times
Yeah.
now. As you go past Beaumont's, I don't know whether you've seen it on the left hand side, there's a house, and it's got 2 big huge eagles on the gates. And as you go past it, it's got a big fountain in the garden. But when you go past, there's a field, the sheep in the field, and when you look, massive buildings.
Look like big hangars.
That's the ones, yeah.
oh, I know
Yeah.
that one.
I think it was something to do with what they call them planes that go on water.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Is that
Because
the
you
same
can
way?
see the slipways going down into the
Yeah.
sea there, into
Well,
the
that's the way,
straits.
yeah, that's right. When people used to take his boathouse on that
Yeah,
slipway
yeah.
and they put gates on it. didn't
Yeah,
they?
I think it was something to do with them hangars they used to build like aircraft.
Is it biplanes? You've got biplanes.
Not
Is that
sure.
what they were?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah.
Every time I go past them, I think I'd love to go and have a rummage around there and have a good nose.
We tried to go into one of the hangars, and obviously, like whoever works there flew up there and chucked us out. But he said that there was like wartime, I think milk floats and stuff like that in there, like wartime vehicles in there.
So
Never
he
got
was
to
okay
have a
with
look
you?
though. Yeah, he was alright. Like,
Yeah. Just wanted to get you off.
yeah.
It's not like you're staying on an
No,
That's a shame.
it is. A couple of pictures and that wouldn't have been
that's
alright.
That's all he wants, isn't it? You're not going to do it,
Yeah.
is it? And you were saying then, I think we were just saying about on Anglesey, there's loads of different places you can go to. It's a small island, but there's a lot of stuff in there. There's the brickworks, have you done the brickworks on the
What's it
far
called? Porthwan?
Portland.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Just up past the.
Yeah, I had a look at that. That's quite interesting place. Those little huts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone know what they are?
No. No. But there's a if you go to Rosniger, it's Rosniger. It's on your way to Rosniger. There's a hill there as well. It's a big hill. Cable Bay. On your way to Rosniger, there's a place called Cable Bay, and on the hill there, there's a burial chamber there as well.
Is there one there?
Right at the very top. Yeah, you can't miss it.
You go in it?
I'm not sure whether they open it at the daytime.
Oh, like a tour, yeah.
Or they put gates on it at the night
Yeah.
time because obviously people are camping there and everything.
I think I know what you mean. You know, is it like sand dunes near it?
Yeah.
It's
That's
quite
right.
close to the beach, there, isn't it?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean. Yeah.
Well, they were there when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Then there's I'm trying to think of a few for you on there because I know Anglesey quite well. Obviously there's the lighthouse, isn't it? South Stack Lighthouse.
Yeah.
That's a good one there. Well, I remember South Stack Lighthouse when it had the swing bridge. Now it's a solid bridge now. When we used to go across, it used to be ropes and it used to swing in the wind like that. And I don't know whether you've ever been to. When you look down, it's quite steep.
Yeah,
You're looking down.
It's right
Used to
strong,
get on
isn't
it. When the wind was blowing like that, you used to have to cross on, hanging on to the swing bridge. We were kids. We were mad. We did it.
Fearless when you're young, aren't you?
That's the thing, isn't
As
it?
you grow up,
Yeah.
you tend to read yourself back
Yeah.
in.
Start seeing things.
You really come
That's
to your
it.
senses in some ways.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, you feel it in some things, but and then when you look back, you think, how mad are we?
Yeah.
We do that now when we do a ghost hunts. We just think, how stupid are we?
Yeah.
I mean, we've had some good spooky places, haven't we?
We have. We've had some really big places. Really good.
There's somewhere we don't want to go back to.
Really?
Oh God, yeah.
Like,
My scariest was the ancient Ramen.
yeah.
I had somebody at the ancient. I want to go back again.
Yeah.
Have you been to the ancient Ramen, haven't you?
Once, yeah.
You've been in the big barn.
Yeah.
And there's loads of stuff piled up on one side.
Yeah.
Must be some history in that. And we were in there, we were doing a ghost hunt in there. And there's a girl sitting next to me called Kerry. And then Hazel. I still remember it, it's clear as anything. And my chair started to rock like that while I was sitting on it. I went, pack it in, stop that. And it stopped. I thought, that's okay. It's listening to me,
Yeah.
you know, like that. But then it started again, but this time it was getting a bit more fiercer. And the girl next to me put her hand on my chair and she went, that's what I said, I know it's rocking. Like that. And I said, there's lights, I can see lights coming towards us. And it came up and it literally looked like a face come into me, face, and then backed up like that. And Hazel said, this isn't good, Jamie. I was right, okay then. I need to get out. I need to get out.
Yeah.
That was the scariest thing that's ever happened to me. And we went back. It was like the return, you know.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to go back into the barn. So let's go back. You know, you've got to do it, haven't you?
Yeah.
So this time I didn't go over that side where it was. I sat on the other side like that. So nothing's happening, you know. This is great. And then Hazel went, Jamie, there's two big lights just gone right next to you now like that. And the next minute on the table there. Okay, I'm going now. And she said to me, whatever it was aiming for you again. So I just got up and went out to and left them all into it. He said as soon as I left that barn, the atmosphere just dropped. It was dead relaxed and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
I
do you
said,
think they
whatever
pick
it
out
was,
people? something
don't
about
know.
you, or they like or don't like,
I
or
think it's when you're sensitive, isn't it? You know, if you're off your guard a bit and things
I
like
think,
that.
Yeah.
You remember when I done it when I was
I think if
well?
you're feeling a bit vulnerable or whatever,
Yeah.
I think they tend to go for you more.
yeah.
But do you remember when we were in the cells the other week, me, you and Marie? And I wasn't feeling too good.
Yeah.
And it was me what wanted to get out. They were seeing things and I felt unsafe and I said to them, I need to get out.
And we wanted to stay because we were getting all kinds going on.
So they made me stay.
Yeah, so we made them stay.
So who needs friends like you? So from here, I know you're at Mill Street Barracks.
Yeah.
Do you do your investigations every single day or on a regular basis?
As much as we can, not every single day. Like obviously life gets in the way, and
Yeah.
so as much as you can, like.
So do you plan, or do you drive? Have you ever driven along sometime? And you've gone, that looks like a place there.
Yeah, we do it all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, all the time.
So found some of the best ones just like that, just on
Really?
the side of a road, yeah. And they're usually untouched as well because obviously it's the side of a road, so
People just drive past them, don't they?
Yeah,
They
they
don't
never
realise.
stop.
Right, got it.
So do you keep your equipment with you at all times in the car, just in case?
I keep my. Oh, I shouldn't say someone's gonna rob my car. I keep my
Oh,
paranormal stuff. Yeah, I keep my
Sorry
paranormal
about
stuff
that,
in a case in the car, but my camera and that,
Oh,
I know that's always with me. Like,
yeah. So if you go out, you take the equipment.
Yeah.
with you. And we were talking before. We were saying we went and done filming in Anglesey, didn't we? We've done 3 locations in one day. Is that what you do to try and get as many locations as you can? Yeah.
Especially if it's a long journey, we make sure that we've got enough places to check, so it's not a complete waste.
Yeah.
ideally, you have one guaranteed one, and then you check around so you don't miss anything in the area, and then head back then.
So have like 3 or 4 in mind.
Yeah.
One, you know, you definitely get.
Yeah, so it's not a wasted trip.
Yeah.
That usually is the best way of doing it, isn't it? But
So do you go in now as urban explorers or urban explorers paranormal investigators?
I think it's a bit of both now.
Yeah.
I think it's swinging more to the paranormal bits.
Yeah.
I find it more interesting. I know the urban exploring side is interesting,
Yeah.
but it's I think it just adds to it, and we can do a bit more in there of you just having a look around and that. But sometimes if you pick up like there's something bad's happened in here, you just kind of want to know the rest of the story. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Or if somebody else is in there.
Yeah.
Like some you can go into and it's just a nice house.
Nice.
But some you go in there and go, something's happened here. You can just
feel it.
Oh,
bit of dread like, yeah.
Because some people, I mean, some people put like, we nearly died in the murderer's house and they're like that. I go, not much in that.
I don't think we did.
Yeah. Yours are just what you've done, you know. Where you go,
We seen one the
I
other
nearly
week.
died.
Did I make it out? Well, obviously you've uploaded
Oh,
the
That's true. That. Never do this again. Part 1. But Adam and Matt, we've kept you long enough. I know he's itching to get round those barracks here, and I do appreciate you very much for taking the time and doing this little bit of a podcast. It was a bit of fun at the end, but the dog at the beginning, the dog has now gone quiet, so I think Ian's drugged it. I don't know. But yeah, sorry about the beginning there, but it was a bit of entertainment actually, wasn't it? And I had to shoot off to try and sort that thing out there. But it's a pup. That's all it is anyway. But we really do hope you're enjoying those street bars. We hope you captured a few things in here, especially footsteps and things like that. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to nip off and take Ian home, and then I'm going to come back. Is there any chance we could join you a little bit later on and do a little bit of an investigation? Is that okay? Yeah. So Matt, Adam, let them know how they can contact you on YouTube, how they can find your stuff.
All my socials are Dead City Urbex, included on YouTube as well.
And the same, Adam Mark Explores, just search that and you should find me.
Everyone knows you already, mate, don't worry about it.
Take it from me, Jonathan, it's a must. The fantastic, the videos are superb. I've got to catch up with Adam's next previous one. I've not seen it yet, I'm looking forward to it because of the footsteps, Jonathan says it's a good one. I take his word all the time.
Watch it.
So go and follow these 2 lads, it's a must. They're brilliant lads. Okay, thanks very much for listening. and we'll be back again soon. From Adam and Matt, thank you as well.
No worries.
Okay.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome.
Well, Jamie, that was hilarious.
It was a bit awkward at the beginning, wasn't it, with the dog?
It just took off a mad half hour.
Do you know what the funniest thing is when Adam and Matt came, the dog was as good as gold.
It was, yeah.
It welcomed them, it said hello to them the way dogs do.
Yeah.
It was actually licking Adam's boot.
I know.
And I thought, he's going to chew at least. No, I thought. These people got like 70,000 plus on YouTube. And I'm thinking, there's my dog trying to chew his shoe.
I know. Crazy.
And he didn't bat an eyelid.
No, he was alright, wasn't
They were genuinely nice lads.
Oh,
Both of them were brilliant. It's nice now that we've got to know them, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've watched Adam Mark Explores for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
So I watched him before he got into doing all the paranormal, because he was just Explore, and really good.
What I mean, if anybody wants to watch the Mill Street Barracks version of it now,
Yeah.
it's up on YouTube. It's on Adam Mark Explores.
Yeah.
Adam Mark Explores.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. It's on his
And
channel.
it's very, very good. Go and have a look what happens. It's worth it. Sorry, I'm just moving the pizza box.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he had a good invest, didn't he?
He
Good
did.
pair of them,
I mean,
him and Matt.
when they'd done that footage, that's when we done the interview you just heard.
Yeah.
The dog went home before they started that, mind you.
Yeah.
Now, have you heard what he calls me, innit? The owner.
Oh, the owner, yeah.
I went, I'll have that. Yeah.
You wish.
So, Adam, thanks for upping me there. I'm really impressed with you. But it was great. I really enjoyed them being here. And then obviously we got on the front of the video, didn't we?
We did. We did.
I think that was the most frightening part of it.
I know, probably was, you know.
But it was good. So I hope you all enjoyed the actual podcast, and I hope you enjoyed the like, you know, they say don't work with kids and don't work with animals.
Yeah.
They're on, well, unless you know junior paranormal events. I mean, they're all right to work with, aren't
yeah,
they?
they are. Yeah, they're good.
But dogs never.
No.
Last time we had Jessi in, she was as good as gold.
I know, it's strange, you know.
Well, she was as good as gold this time until we started interviewing them.
Do you remember last time? No, she wouldn't go up the stairs.
Refused point blank,
And
didn't
then she wanted to get out of that room.
she?
Remember?
Yeah.
And then when we opened the door in the house, she wouldn't go out.
She wouldn't go out, no. She just wouldn't
That
come out
was
at all, would she?
strange.
That was in the bedroom, because, that's right, because Marie and Jane done downstairs and we done
And we
upstairs,
done
yeah.
upstairs, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be
Yeah.
taking her again, the dog, though.
No.
She was good on that one.
Strange that. Yeah, it's weird.
No, we were talking off air, weren't we, before, about ghost experiences we've had.
Yes.
And I was telling you, we were on about locations to go to. So if anybody's got any locations, get in touch, because we're always up for anything, can't we?
Yeah.
And we were talking about one in Scotland.
That's right, yeah.
And I was saying to you, when I was 19, it was only 2 years ago, right? Right, when I was 19...
I don't know whether I've got a cough or I've just choked. I think I was choking.
When was I 19? God, it was a long time ago.
You can say that again.
Well, I'm 59.
And the rest.
Yeah, it will be soon, won't it? So I went sea fishing up in Scotland with a great friend of my dad's called Jerry Townsend, and he took me up there, and I'd never experienced anything like, you know. We stayed in this hotel. Now I'm not going to mention the name of the hotel. I don't know whether I should or I shouldn't. I don't know.
So whereabouts it was.
Argyle, towards Argyle, the Isle of Bute and things like that.
Yeah.
And the Isle of Arran is not far from me neither.
Right, okay.
And we were up there, and thinking I was only 19, and we went into this hotel at 19. We were quite old there, really, aren't we? we were in this
You're
hotel,
older now.
and I can easily find a new co-host, you know. we
You
were
love
in
it,
this-
really.
I know, yeah. Well, Nigel and Tom, Tom, I called him Tom the other night as well. Nigel and Scott, congratulations,
Oh,
Scott, for getting married under the thumb. And we stayed in this hotel, and I remember going up to the first floor.
Yeah.
I can't remember that far back to where it was. What I remember was it's like the room was like there was one in front of me and one to the left.
Yeah.
And we went into the one on the left, me and Jerry. But it was like two single beds in each room.
Yeah.
And when you're fisherman, off you go. So I went into this room to put my suitcase in, and Jerry went downstairs, and they were going to have a quick drink while we were up, while I was getting my bag. And I did not feel right in that room. Didn't feel right at all.
Yeah.
Just didn't want to stay in that room. And I went downstairs and I went, I wasn't doing paranormal stuff then either.
Well, I was just going to say.
I was
you?
more into sea fishing and everything.
Right, okay.
And I went down and said to Jerry Townsend, I said, Jerry, I don't want to stay. I don't want to stay in that room. I'm not comfortable in that and anything else. And he was, you'll be fine. And that evening, I just went up. They were all still having a drink down there.
Yeah.
I said, okay, no, there's something not right about that room. I feel as if there's something in there.
All right, okay.
And so I said, I don't want to stay in that room. I'd rather stay downstairs in the bar area.
Yeah, well,
That's how nervous I
bad it
was.
was,
Yeah. Anyway, without even questioning it or arguing or anything like that, the woman behind the counter,
Yeah.
behind the bar, I said, it's okay, we've got a spare room, you can move it into there if you're that worried. Norma, her name is. I won't say her name is Norma. It's funny how you remember someone, isn't it?
Yeah.
And anyway, she put me in the back room. We moved into the back room next door to it.
Yeah.
Slept, got up the next morning early up, go sea fishing.
That room was alright though.
Right.
I feel alright that room.
Yeah, it was fine in that room. We were there for, we went on the Friday and come back on the Monday.
Yeah.
And I got to know this normal woman, just chatting away to, because I didn't drink, but everybody else had the drink, so I started chatting to her and everything else. And she said, was there a reason why you didn't want to stay in that room, in a Scottish accent?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I just didn't feel right in there. And I still remember that from that day to this. I said, I just didn't feel right in there. And she went, right, because the room you were in is supposed to be haunted by a little girl.
All right,
And I was,
okay.
oh, okay. And she told me that room, once it was being renovated, redecorated and everything done and that, and they come across like a box in the corner, and it looked a bit strange.
All right.
So they took a brick out and found that it was like a hollow.
Oh, so
So-
just something being
Yeah.
built.
So the plan was, let's knock all the brick wall down there, and the brick wall down there, make the room bigger.
Yeah.
When they done it, they found a skeleton
Oh,
of a young
God.
child.
Are you joking?
No, and the story goes that the child had gone in there
Yeah.
years and years ago, fell asleep. How or why, I don't know, they bricked it up.
Oh my God.
I mean, that might not be the full story, there might be more to it, but this
Yeah.
is what I was told at the time, that they bricked it up. And obviously when they bricked up, the child died,
Oh wow.
which is a sad thing to happen. And that was the room I refused to go in.
Oh God. That's.
And that was what I was told by Norma, right? Years ago, quite a few years ago, I was talking to a neighbour of mine in the
Yeah.
old house where my mum used to live, in
Right.
Huyton. Now Huyton is must be 10 hours away from,
Oh yes, but it's good
The
to know
hotel.
drive, isn't it?
so it's a good 10 hours away. So you can see how far away it is, so there's
Yeah.
no chance of me ever meeting anybody.
Yeah, it'd be 1 in a million, wouldn't it?
Exactly. So talking to a fella who I know, Eddie. He said, I've just been up to Scotland, Jamie. Stayed in a lovely hotel, blah, 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 like that.
Yeah.
And as he was talking, I said, oh, I've stayed in that hotel. And before I could say anything, he turned around and he goes, "Did you hear about the ghost thing in there? The ghost story? The story of the ghost?" I said, "Tell me." I knew exactly what he was going to say. And he turned around and he said, "There was a room up there, first floor, blah, 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 number." I can't remember the number now.
Yeah.
Number so-and-so. And he said, and he was saying people wouldn't stay in that room because the story is a little girl was picked up.
Oh my God.
When they were renovating, they found the bones. And she's supposed to haunt that room and around that area.
Oh, that's a bit weird, isn't it?
And I just turned around to him and said, and I asked him, "Did you stay in a hotel called the Hotel?"
Yeah.
And he went, "That's the one I stayed in, yeah."
Oh my God. How freaky is that though?
Now you're talking about a neighbour of mine down the road who never ever knew that a few years before I'd gone to the same hotel as that. He'd just been, because he'd done electrics, so he'd
how
gone.
many years later was that?
I'd say,
talking about
well, I was
few years.
19. I'd say what? I'd say 20 years later.
Oh my God.
It might be more. Now,
So
when he
that
said to me,
Norma, was that
he's-
Norma old at the time?
no, she was only a young girl.
So she could still be in there, couldn't she?
Yeah, she could have been. Just in case, if you hear voices behind us, we have got a group in Mill Street tonight while we're doing the show.
Yeah.
Now, what happened then was, he said to me, and when he named the hotel, and I said, "Oh, that," he went, "You know, what's the chances of that happening?"
That's like,
There's, like you said, a 1 in a million chance.
yeah.
Now, there's us two. I live at the top of the road. He lives at the bottom of the road. He's an electrician. Now, that electrician had gone to Scotland to do some electrical work up there.
And that's where he stays.
And he stayed in the same hotel. And he told me the story of the little girl who was sealed in a cupboard.
20 years later.
I'd say more than 20 years later.
That is weird, isn't it?
It was only today I was sitting there thinking about it, and I said
So-
to you tonight, I just remembered a little story from
Yeah.
when I was young.
But not only is the ghost story a bit weird in itself, but the chance that your neighbour had been to that same hotel and knew the same story,
Exactly, yeah.
that is weird.
And he said the room, and as soon as he said the room, I went, "I know what you're talking about." And when he said it, I went, "Did you stay in the hotel?"
Yeah. Oh,
And he went, "That's the hotel, yeah."
that is strange.
And there's no other hotel around, so he couldn't even stay in a different hotel. So,
Very weird.
and when I gave him the description of it, where it was and everything else, he said, "It's exactly the same." He said, "It can't be any other one, Jamie, because it's the only one
It's
there
like the only one in that area.
in that area." Yeah.
Wow.
And now I've never told you that story before.
You don't have, no, I've never heard that one before.
And it was
no.
only because,
And that was before you were into any paranormal stuff as
yeah,
well.
yeah. And it was only, you're sitting in, you're on your own, you're sitting thinking,
Yeah.
you're sitting in the world, and went, God, I know, because I was thinking of ideas for the show,
Yeah.
and things like that. Because we'd been out with Nigel Bach and
and
Scott
Scott.
filming
Yeah.
another show for Roku TV.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there thinking, oh, we need to start reading some ghost stories out on the show.
We do.
And I'm wondering if we've got any ghost stories, and I was thinking like that. And why it popped into my head, I don't know.
Yeah,
But-
it's strange how things happen. Eh?
Yeah,
Just shows you.
it does.
It really does.
I mean, what's the chances of that happening?
Like I said, it's a million to one, isn't it?
Yeah,
You probably got more chance of winning the lottery.
I wish. But yeah, coming up in the show, we're going to be trying to get some ghost stories, real, true ghost stories.
Yeah.
If any authors are out there who'd like one of their stories read on the show, feel free to get hold of us, and we were more than happy to. In fact, I've got an author lined up.
Yes. Yes.
I've just got a copy of his book.
Yeah.
It's a good read as well.
I'll have to have a read
Yeah.
because I was from the area,
Hmm.
so I'll have to have a read
Yeah.
of that.
We'll have to get him to get you a copy as well, won't we?
Yeah, I'll have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's where
I got it
That's
signed
where
as
I
well.
grew up.
Tell you, it's a really good read. I know I haven't been around the area and that, but I quite enjoy it. I'm just enjoying it, you know.
I'd like to have a read because I can put where the stories are. I'll know where it is type thing, so I'll be able to put a picture to it.
Well, I'm going to ask them, are we allowed to read some of the stories out on the show? Because we'd love to share ghost stories, people's ghost stories.
Yeah, definitely.
So if anybody listening to this has also got a ghost story,
yeah, just let us know.
Write into us, write it down for us, or if you want to, record it and send it to us.
Yeah, and we'll just put it on
We'll just put it on if you want that, or if you want to record it and send it to us and say, please read it out.
Yeah, more than
we're quite happy to write it out.
Yeah.
And then read it out word for word for what you've said.
Yeah.
We'd love that.
Yeah, definitely.
So we are going to add some ghost stories to the show. We've got a few paranormal investigations coming as well, haven't we, Jonathan?
We have. We most certainly have.
We're going out with L35 Radio.
Yes.
On the 17th of March.
Yeah.
To here.
To Mill Street Barracks.
In Mill Street Barracks. If anybody wants to come, it's £30 a head. Every penny is going to half to Mill Street and the other half to L35 for their licence and everything else, which keeps us on air.
That's it.
So if you want any tickets, get in touch with us. Now, I've got 2 emails for you, and I'm doing what Jonathan does. I'm searching for it as I'm talking to you.
Go on.
That'll give me a chance. But that should be a good night as well, shouldn't it? And we're also doing Shrewsbury Prison.
We are.
Sadly, Gwerrick Castle's now sold out. So
that is sold out.
Anybody who wants to go to Gwerrick Shrewsbury Prison, feel free to contact us as well.
Yeah.
You can contact us for Shrewsbury Prison on info.accessparanormal@gmail.com.
I'm impressed.
Why?
Because you got it right first time.
It took me 2 years.
I know.
But I got there
by now.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to come to the fundraising event here at Mill Street Barracks on the 17th of March, tickets are £30. It's limited places, and you can contact us on the email for L35 Radio is studio@l35radio.co.uk, and try and book your tickets there. Also, if you want to, you can contact us on info.accessparanormal@gmail.com. Any of them emails, get in touch with us, book your tickets and come and have a great night. If you've never been to Mill Street Barracks, you'll love it.
Yeah.
It's a big place. It's a location everybody comes to. Most haunted have been here. Paranormal Lockdown have been here.
Yeah.
Derek Akora, God rest his soul, he's been here.
That's right. The groups keep coming back all the time.
All the time. They love it. You've probably heard the shows, and if you haven't heard the shows, the best thing to do is just get onto our Access Paranormal podcast channel.
Yeah.
On YouTube, and they're all on there.
That's right.
Jonathan, I can't believe the time.
I know, yeah. Can I just say before we have to say goodbye?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask if anyone does want to go, send us an email or send us a message, whatever, to book your tickets, because it is going to be limited.
Yeah, definitely.
Tickets for Mill Street always sell out fast.
And like I said, don't forget to get in touch with your ghost stories. We'd love to hear them, and there will be ghost stories coming on. Jonathan, it's the end of the show.
I know.
That went so quick.
It did.
Thanks to Adam Mark again, and Matt for coming and joining us on the Unusual podcast.
I know.
And we'll be back again next week.
Yes.
Same time, same place.
Yeah.
So we'll see you all then, or hear you all then. So good night from Jonathan.
Good night.
And good night from myself, Jamie. See you next week here on Access Paranormal. Good night.
Good night.